everyone. Thank you so much for hanging on for us. If you're new here, hi. We're both halves of TGS Games. I'm Taylor. That's Corey. Every week we meet on Twitch to develop games in real time in front of a waiting audience of loving fans. This week we are kind of getting to the tail end of a 2-month-long journey making PocketQuest 2023's Game Jam. It's an annual game dev get-together where people sit down and they create a tabletop RPG from scratch, and they have 2 months to do it in. And
we're only 1 month in, which is great.
Is it really only 1 month? I feel like we've done 5 or 6 of these.
Yeah, we're only 1 month, and we have until the end of this month. We have until July 1st, I believe.
Oh, wow. Okay, cool. Well, then we are hopefully way ahead of schedule then. Because just to provide people with a little bit of context, I am going on vacation next week. Corey may do a solo stream. I'm not sure what his plans are. So to make sure that I didn't leave my buddy hanging, I have spent the last, 3 or 4 days just banging this game out as much as humanly possible. So what we're going to be doing this session is we're going to be just looking over some of the stuff that I've written, some of the stuff that we currently have in the Google Doc, and talking a couple of different game mechanics that we might want to consider pursuing. So yeah, with that, Corey, I want to hand it over to you. What's your strategy for today? Do you want to start with the Google Doc? Do you want to start with these mechanics you're looking at? Where do you want to begin?
Yeah, let's take a look at what you have here. Yeah. Exploration of tables takes quite a few. Okay, cool. So, yeah. So let me make my basic pitch to you. Okay. Currently, we are using a series of tables based on OSR stuff, right? It's like tables that the GM can roll on, generate things that are going on or things that are in universe, whether it be the location, people, yada yada yada.
Right.
Details. We've been playing in one of our home games, powered by the Apocalypse games, which aren't my favorite, but they do have some things in them that I think we both enjoy. And one of that is a joint amount of control for players in the development of the universe.
Very much, yeah.
And specifically, we've played a couple games of the beginning of Dungeon World. We play Ex Nova. We've played The Quiet Year before. We've done some of the cartography games, which are joint world building exercises. And so I was thinking about how we could bring that into the micro and take that fiction forward. Players generate some of the narrative, which also works into the fiction of the game, right? If players say that there's a stack of barrels, now you have cover to hide behind, kind of shit. And I was thinking about that, and as we have tables are sort of they are, what's the word I'm looking for? Not stagnant, but they're static, right? Table, you're going to roll on a table. It's always going to be static. Yeah. The result that you get from it, and you could do some funky stuff to that in order to not, you have some fiat in order to not make that the case, or you go general with what is actually in the table.
Right.
And I was.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Go on. Oh, go say what you were gonna say.
I was gonna agree with you. Yeah. So a lot of tables are static. Not a ton of replayability for a lot of them. And that was actually something that I made a lot of these with in mind. So I'll direct your attention really quick to some of the more expansive tables that I've got. In particular, our NPC generator table, as well as our unique locations table. For each of these options, I actually have additional rolls you can make to affect basically what your initial roll looks like. So, for example, using our NPC generator, right? If I roll a 4, it's a humanoid alien life form. Now I can roll to find out if they're malevolent, neutral, benevolent, so on and so forth. If we go down to unique locations, I've got an additional roll for all of these things that affect the location that you're looking at as well. So this is something that I tried to make these in something that I tried to make these tables with that in mind. But you're absolutely right. I mean, you can only make it so expansive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my thinking about it, I started thinking about games that use like exploration and specifically about hexploration. So let's take a look at what exploration actually is. I'll just give an actual rundown of a quick definition. Which obviously changes with whatever game you're playing. But I mean, basically, it breaks down your overworld map into hexes, and then you explore. You have that macro map. You go in and you explore. So, you as a GM can go in and place things on hexes, or you can have events on hexes, or roll on events like random tables, when you cross the threshold, yada yada yada. I was like, man, I wonder if there's a way we can do that without such a robust framework, and I came up. It's loose right now, and I'm hoping that maybe we can define it, and maybe we can mine these tables and utilize it. But my basic concept was a name first. So I'm going into branding first, which you'll love me for. But the basic idea is Dexploration. And what I mean by that is the idea of using a deck of cards, and anytime you need to define, whether it be a micro piece of a micro quality of something, or actual information that they're finding, or just the kind of aesthetic of the place that you're in or the people that you're running into. I would like to set up a way where either the numbers or the suits or colors mean different things, and then you go cycle around the table basically. So as you're going through, players investigate something. Okay, it's a shell. What condition is it in? Okay, I got a king of hearts. We know that red means that it is this faction of things that you can whether it be supernatural or technological, and then you as a player can go, okay, I think it's kind of looks like this. It still gives the framework of you as a GM to define what the shell that you're discovering is. You're still setting up the actual quest lines, but the narrative framework that is around it would be built up by the players in this fiction, and it would all be prompted by cards instead of rolling a d4 on a bunch of tables or rolling dice on a bunch of tables. So basically, the idea is we just have to figure out what how to categorize the cards, and then I think we could probably do it in a couple pages. And that's my basic idea.
Sure. So I don't think that this is entirely out of the question. My initial response was I didn't want to bring in another mechanic for this, but I actually think you can break this down, I think, by suit, number, and color. And basically you're making 3 tables, right? One is number, one is suit, one is color. Actually, probably just one for number and then one for suit and color. You can mix them.
Yeah, we just have to find out the framework of the categories and the kinds of things that people would be discovering, and the kinds of things that we would want players to have, like, have control of in the narrative, right? Like, we'd have to figure out the degree at which we want to have that shared narrative, right?
Right.
Because in my head, it's just like at the beginning of the session, you just pick somebody and it starts at them, and whenever a card is drawn, it moves to the next person, right? Like, and I think it would include the GM. So like, it would just be like move around the table kind of thing.
Yeah. Okay.
So I mean, that's like my basic concept.
Okay, yeah. So the basic concept is good. We've got a whole new mechanic now that we need to flesh out. So let me ask you this: when does a card get drawn? Is the question.
So let's think of the major things that could happen. You could have an encounter. Encounters could be when cards are drawn. A new room or location could be when cards are drawn. When an NPC is encountered, I think that cards could be drawn.
Okay. So it sounds honestly like just about anything, any new stimulus entering into the story results in a card being drawn, right?
I mean, that's how I'm seeing it. We could definitely pare it down if we wanted to make it like. This is the thing. I guess this is the question I'm bringing to you. How much would we, if we were to initiate this? Mm-hmm. What is the degree at which you would want this RNG to be present? And what is the degree at which, like, it would be impactful? Like, how impactful would you want it to be?
Well,
like,
so,
just flavor or?
So a part of me really loves the idea of this being kind of like a unique penalty table when something really bad happens, where the numbers indicate severity and the suits would indicate some kind of, I don't know, like spades are like an asteroid is hurtling towards you, or some kind of like temporal disturbance, like a type of problem, type of obstacle. I guess the thing is, so I guess, I mean, like, go ahead.
That would be the, like, if we were to, this would be a lot of book flipping, I think, if we were to have like each like suit and numeric value being different for each. Unless you just have numeric value indicating severity of something,
right,
which could be positive or negative. It depends on what you're encountering.
I like that. Well, because here's the thing: you can't draw a card and only have a number but not have a suit or a color. Like, you're
sure,
whatever you draw, it has to be some combination of these things, right?
Well, unless you start splitting up the core, like the core of it, right? Like, we have an encounter that you're drawing, so we know we only care about suits, or we have an NPC that you're drawing, so we only care about numeric value, right?
Okay.
Like, how we want to divide the cards is really up to there's a million ways to do it, you know?
Right.
It doesn't have to be locked into suit and numeric value.
Okay.
I think that there is. Let's start brainstorming. Like, let's just put down a straight brainstorm. I like the idea, and I don't think that anything we say here, let's not be married to. Maybe we decide that, like, hey, this doesn't work. We don't have time to implement it. We don't want to implement it. Whatever. Yeah. But let's play around with the concept. I think that, like, one solid idea we have is numeric value is severity. It is it can be both positive or negative, and it is regardless of what you are drawing. All that it does is indicate severity.
Yeah.
What this does, pro and con. Let's weigh some pros and cons on that. Or maybe we should just throw some shit at the wall first and then go ahead and do pros and cons afterwards.
Yeah. One thing I'm going to introduce that... I'm just trying to think about how this would actually be implemented. I feel like you would have to do something based on... There are people, places, and things, right? So... You're... Man, I wish there was a third thing besides color and suit.
I feel like you're dancing around something that's on the tip of your tongue, but you can't, you're not putting it together yet.
No.
It's there. There's something there. It's cooking in your brain. Your brain's cranking away at it like a grinder monkey.
Yeah. Well, okay, so here's what I'm thinking. All right. So I think actually number it doesn't need to be severity. What if instead number was things? And then, it's like one option is like its severity. The other option is that these are things, events that happen, right? Okay, we have 13 different options, however many cards there are in each suit. And color...
There's 100 cards in each suit.
Yeah, 100 cards in each suit.
I've never played cards before.
Color, okay, so people, places, and things. I think that color would be people, and the simple answer there is good or bad, right? So, like, black would be good, red would be bad.
Sure.
And then suit is place. It's a kind of place, right? So there's, like, we have 4 options. It's like space station, terrestrial planet, like cyberspace. I don't know what the 4th one would be, but that would basically be it. And so when you get to a place in the narrative where it's like, okay, something is going to happen, then okay, we're drawing a card, and this time we're only paying attention to the number, right? Yeah. Or we're entering into a new place. I don't know what it is, so we're drawing a card, and we're only paying attention to the suit.
Sure.
So I think that's what's cooking for me.
Yeah. So the basic idea is like splitting up numeric value, color, and suit into separate tables, so that we know if we're draw a person card, we're going to draw off of the suit table, like that kind of thing.
Right.
Which I think is a great approach. I also think that we could do instead of color being good or bad, we could do color as event, whether it takes place in meat space or takes place in cyberspace.
Oh, that's interesting.
Let's think of some other ways we could break down cards. So far, we have numeric value beating severity. We have the idea of breaking up cards into distinct sections of the card. Which honestly, you could even combine those two ideas. It doesn't you don't have to throw out the baby with the bathwater.
That's true.
We could have, let's see, we could have cards representing, instead of severity, aesthetic value, or instead of severity can represent value. Or maybe that's just a reframing of it, but maybe that is a good way to think about it, and like, because severity implies punitive, value implies that like even a high value dangerous place. Well, I don't know. I guess that's when we're thinking about what kind of game we want to run.
Yeah.
Yeah, value's not inherent. Let's take a look at let's take a look at our books. Me and Taylor brought books today.
We did homework, except I didn't do homework.
I didn't read any of mine.
Nope. All right. Okay. Oh, this isn't even. Okay.
Zone travel. Okay, let's get started. I'm gonna read some shit. So I'm looking at Mutant Year Zero. They have a hexploration system. We're actually both looking at games made by Free League, which, like, I don't know.
They're just killing it. They're killing it lately. Like,
yeah, they're on the game.
Yeah.
I want to play more Free League games than we do, which is zero currently.
Yeah, no, so when we were at PAX this last year, Corey and I both got to play different Free League games. I got to play One Ring, and Corey got to play Alien, and I don't know, like, that was like the highlight of kind of the trip. Like,
yeah, I was super impressed.
Yeah, like, mechanically speaking, from a design perspective, I took a lot from that. They're just very good games.
It's also that, like, we were in the official Free League.
Also true, yeah.
Yeah, like, so they had some good people there.
Yeah.
Like, dude who ran that guy knew fucking Alien. And it's like, hell yeah. He was getting into the deep lore. Okay, so the zone map. The first thing you do before starting your campaign is define your zone. Create your own zone based on your hometown or yada, yada, yada. Zone map is a central component of the game. At the start of the game, most of the zone map is empty. During the course of play, you will fill it with content. You can make notes directly on the map itself or use a zone log, from which you can find at the back of this book, yada, yada. Where you find template that you can use to draw your own zone maps. I do want to look at that, because visual representation... Holy shit, there's a bunch of scrap. Oh, they have a whole scrap table you can roll on for finding things.
That's neat.
Which makes sense. Like, the purpose of this game is finding, like, old relics, which in this case is scrap. So they have a D66 table where you, like, find, like, a yo-yo or suspenders. Yada, yada, yada. Character sheet. Zone map. Okay. Zone map has... you can talk about coordinates. Oh, terrain. Terrain would be pretty fucking important for us. Because this is an exploration game, having terrain being represented would definitely be something we want to do.
Yeah.
On this exploration thing. Threat, which I think we have, was severity, rot level, comment. Yada yada. Okay, cool. Central component. Sectors. Zone map is a grid overlay. Each square of the grid is called a sector. Sector is roughly 1 square mile. Divide the map into sectors. Okay, these are a few examples. Okay, here's another thing, though. So what you're bringing up by breaking everything up is having, like, having a list of things, having a, like, it's still fairly static, right? Like, it is, they are either good or bad. What I think would be cool here is having a way to have these cards have prompts on them according to the kinds of things that like you're going to say. So not necessarily prompts, but a way to prompt the player to define the area. So have more generic, this place is dangerous. Why is it dangerous? That kind of thing. Like, okay. I want the players to define it as a more dynamic thing.
Okay, so hang on. Are you suggesting that we now have to write 52 different prompts?
No, absolutely not. What I'm suggesting is that like we could break down cards into say we have the prompt be like. I'm trying to think. Maybe it's just by suit, so it's just 4 things, and we have 4 categories of like vague thing that we prompt the players. This place is dangerous. This place is. But it still means we need to work out how the actual card draw system works. Like how is it prompted? I like the idea of like things. Oh, like, is that what you were saying? Numeric things being like things that you're discovering, right?
Right.
Could we write numeric, like 13 categories of things that are? Well, no, because. Sorry, I'm like working. I'm the grinder monkey in my brain now.
I was gonna say grind away. That's
yeah.
Well, because here's the thing. Because let me. I'll do my best at this for just a second here. Because if we're gonna have this be prompts, then don't get me wrong. Like I agree. That makes it more modular. It makes it so that you're gonna have less stuff. Or less concrete defined things, which allows tables to kind of fill in their own gaps here. That being said, if that's the case, why wouldn't we just set this up with a D4 system? Roll 3d4 and you get a prompt as a result, right?
Yeah.
If the whole point is that the prompts are vague, why go through this process of introducing a deck of cards and all that stuff?
Well, partially because the name branding is dope. Dexploration is awesome. I think that you could do things, because we can split up the cards into the core components, I think that we can do more dynamic things with it and without a ton of lifting. But I just thought of something. Yeah. Instead of using cards to like numeric value to define an item that you're finding, a thing that you're finding, maybe we just use it to describe a vague quality of a thing. Like you pulled a 13, so you find something ruined. You pull a 4, so you find something cybernetic. You find a 5, so you find something dangerous. You pull a 6, so you find something glowing. You know, like instead of actually defining like. Using the tables, we were talking about it being static, instead making something more dynamic where it's like, okay, player facing, it's something ruined. And like, it doesn't, because you could still write on your cat sheet the things that you want for sure to be in the game, right? Like you have the pieces of information, you have your NPCs, you have like your fundamental aspects of the game that you're written in. But if players find like some old antiquated, I think it's like some busted like AI shell. Okay, now that tells me as a GM that this place had AI in it, which is like something that I can define this part of the deck a bit more from player involvement.
Okay, so shit, I just had something.
Fuck, sorry.
Oh, no, you're fine. This is also something that we could include the severity in. I'm thinking like a system that like starts in the middle at 6 and 7, and then as you go higher, the qualities that you're getting are better, whereas if you go lower, the qualities you're getting are inherently worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which doesn't necessarily mean less interesting, right? Because finding something ruined is probably worse, but it can be more narratively interesting, so you can do cool stuff with that. Okay. So it doesn't feel like yeah.
I like that.
Okay, cool. So it's not a thing; it's a quality of the thing. Which you could also dynamically bring into it doesn't have to be just things, right?
Right.
What's something if this is our quality section. What's interesting about this creature you found? Okay, we'll pull off the quality. You got a 13. There's something that's ruined about it. There's something that's glowing about it. There's something cybernetic about it.
Let me ask you something. Do you want this table to apply to all things or just to things that are found? Because I have an idea now for both.
Hit me with both.
Okay.
I think it could be both.
So if we had a table for just things that you find, things that you encounter or whatever, you could make it so that the numeric quality indicates it's different meanings of quality. The numeric value would be how good is this thing? Is it ruined? Yeah. Is it in mint condition? And everywhere in between. And then for suits, you could have glowing, cybernetic, something like that. And then you can have that kind of modularity within the thing.
Sure, yeah.
And then the only thing is if you go that route, then you would need 3 tables, one for you would need one for things, one for places, and maybe one for people. I don't know if we want to go that deep into it.
I mean, would you though? Because we're encountering this place. It is we'll pull a card. We know that it is a ruined place that is glowing.
Yeah.
A place could be that in this world for sure. Okay, what does that mean? I think it's uranium topped mountains that are billowing smokestacks.
Yeah. All right. I actually because I like that idea.
I kind of do too.
Hang on one sec. I can.
What do we call them? Just quality? It's quality cards. It's exploration. You're exploring the different.
Stop trying to make fetch happen. It's not gonna happen.
Dude, it's so good. It's good branding. Oh, if you're just joining us, my name is President George Washington, and I just discovered uranium.
Do you want to?
Corey.
I was about to say, do you want to actually do a thing? Because I'm working on something right now.
That's fine. We are TGS Games every week, normally on Wednesdays. Today we did a Thursday because we're feeling just sexy. We're feeling sexy. You can't take that away from me. I already put it into the universe. And we're building a tabletop game. Normally we work on Ballers, which is a game we've been building for about 2 years now. But right now we are participating in drive-through RPGs, POCKETQUEST. I believe this is the second year they've done it, in which you design a tabletop role-playing game in 2 months. Our current game, our bow, is called God in a Corpse. In it you play awoken AI who come to reality in a ruined world that they were not expecting, and they are exploring what happened and what it means to be, and they are doing so through desecrated corpses lodged in old EVA suits and cybernetically enhanced things as well.
Incredible.
You can find us at tgsgames.com. You can find us on DriveThruRPG, or you can find us on itch. Just type in TGS Games and you will discover us. You can also play our Vault Peddlers, our playtest is up. All the printable sheets you need to play, and a 45-page document you need to run the game as it currently exists. Which I only say because if you've been watching us at all, you know that that is probably not going to be the case for long. Is it a perversion? Yes.
We do indeed love murdering our children. It's one of our favorite things to do.
I like to kill my children. It's a pop song I wrote.
Good for her.
That's those orcas, dude. Very cool.
Unbelievable. Many props out to our orca comrades out in the Mediterranean. Good for you. You're doing the right thing.
Couldn't you hit control and do multiple rows at a time?
Maybe. Doesn't matter now.
It's too late, Corey.
Too late, idiot.
Never too late.
Okay.
Heart, diamond, club, spades. We could also have like a separate, if we wanted to have a different dynamic to this, we could also have color, red or black. Because if you're just going through the sheet, right, like you could be like, okay, we're focused on color. It's not something we have to add right now, but if we decide that we want to, that is something we can do.
Yeah.
I know about cards is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I get it.
I can list all the elements of a card.
Okay, so this would basically be new events, table, that'll be a working title. I'm actually going to put that.
Well, I mean, it could apply to locations and NPCs too, right? Like, something about this person is ruined.
New stimuli, then? I mean, what's the general catch-all term for this?
Well, since you don't love my declaration. Just write it and see what it looks like. See what it looks like. I bet it looks good.
It's in front of you.
It doesn't look great. Yeah, it doesn't look awesome. It's because Splore
Splore.
funny. Splore.
Yeah, that can't get rid of that part. That part's pretty important.
Yeah, it's a big part of the word.
It's a pretty crucial part of the word.
It sounds better than it looks. Well, I think it's pretty good. Listen, they portmanteaued Hex into Exploration. It was good. Write Hexploration and see what that looks like. I want to just see if it looks sexier. And I'm going to be mad if it does.
No, the Splorer kind of still fucks it up.
Yeah, it's a bad combination of letters. And that's a common industry term that people use. So, just saying, maybe ugly words are a thing. Let's call it a stimuli table for right now.
Okay. You can call it Dexploration. And everybody who watches our stream will know that it's actually Dexploration. For now, it's the stimuli table.
Stimuli.
Okay.
This table's gonna get funky because we don't need. Are you saying that each number? Yeah,
I'm realizing this now as I'm looking at it. Yeah, I don't want to fill this out, and I have to.
Yeah. No, you don't have to. We need two separate tables that work adjacent to each other. And on the page, I think they'd be right next to each other. You would have one that is just numeric value, which would be like...
Hang on.
And then you'd have one that is just 4.
No, hang on. I don't even need to change that much. Quality. Suit.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Just something neat about it.
No, like
I was looking at it.
I was looking at it and I was like, something is very wrong here. What have I done to myself?
I've made a huge mistake.
I made a terrible mistake. All right.
Well. If it isn't my Polar Seltzer, brought to you by Polar Seltzer.
Polar Seltzer sponsor us.
No, they sponsor me, my personal life.
That's cool.
Yeah. You can do that. You can get like branding on your car.
I saw Community. I know about Subway.
Subway, keep fresh.
I love Honda.
Subway. Subway was a good character.
Subway was a great character.
Okay. It's never too late for now.
So, and then here, now I'll have heart, diamond, spade, club.
We in the club.
These guys can fuck off.
Yeah. Eat shit, God.
Eat shit. He knows what he did.
Is there like a true false quality that we could I don't know. This is our game. We call it Excel. You know what's funny about designing games? And I pointed this out to Taylor, but you don't notice it until you start like building a book yourself. All the tables you see in tabletop, like in tabletop books, like you're like, oh, that looks cool. You're like, oh,
that's Excel. Man, let me tell you,
takes a little bit of the magic away, doesn't it?
A little bit, like, honestly, because I build so many tables for my actual job. That's like a central part of like writing the pieces that I make for work. And so, yeah, no, like I look at a lot of like corporate blogs, for example, and dog, everyone just makes this shit on Excel. I don't know why I thought it was something else. Like, of course it is. What else are you gonna fucking make it on?
It's a pretty good all-arounder.
Yeah, right? Okay. So
we got aces on the bottom?
Ace is high, yeah.
Okay, cool. I always do ace high, too.
Yeah, I mean,
Just feels good.
It's like, I don't know, I'm not like a card guy, but everybody's familiar with like, oh, you got like an ace, and it's like supposed to be a real good thing, so I don't know. Just seems appropriate.
Because it feels special.
Yeah.
What about jokers? How do we feel about jokers in our deck? The only other game I know that, well, not the only other game, but a game that we have played that uses cards is Savage Worlds, and the jokers are special in Savage Worlds.
I forget what they do in Savage Worlds.
They give you an extra Benny, and they let you go
That's
at any point you want in the turn order.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. God, Savage Worlds is a cool system, I just remembered.
Savage Worlds kicked ass. Like, I really enjoyed Savage Worlds. Okay.
I wish there was an easier way to play it at the table. At the digital table. The Digiverse. Champions. Changing to digital champions too. Save the digital world.
There we go. Okay, so now we just need to come up with, like, this is like broken, what, 7 I think is in the middle?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is like just some kind of moderate placeholder. This is like a very high quality, like what?
I thought you were saying using moderate. I thought you were saying we need to come up with a moderate placeholder, and so you just use the word moderate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know if they need to be necessarily on such a like broken to brand new. It could be like qualities could be more a little bit more near. We know that something cybernetic, glowing. Yeah, so this is my question. Do we want organic and cybernetic, or do we want things like... I see. Interesting. Crab boil. I thought you were about to put an L on there.
No, it's my little crab boy. I stand by him.
Yeah, I stand by him. Yeah, we just need that placeholder right now. Because I like the idea of like a physical representative quality here, like glowing.
Okay.
And maybe we can go down the Heart, Diamond, Spade collection with that kind of thing in mind. Something that is prominent about it. Glowing's such a strong one that it's hard to not think of the word glowing now. Let's start like broken. I don't necessarily think that we need to think of the quality. What I'm worried about is going from 2 to ace with a quality that's between broken and brand new, because that feels like a very boring table when I'm like, okay, we encounter a set of mountains. They're kind of okay and glowing, right? Like,
sure. Do you want these? So then maybe we don't have number indicate severity whatsoever.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe not. Because it still does the same thing. I mean, we could still have generally worse things be at the lower side of it, right? Like, I think that something that is like, these are prompts that you are going to present the player. You are in a new place. It is a let's think of something besides ruined, because that's the only thing my brain has been going to. Let's just come up with a series of
glowing and ruined.
Yeah, which is, I mean, honestly, a pretty good indicator of what this game is. Maybe we can have cybernetic on the other side, like the numerical side of things.
Okay. On the same note, I'm just gonna put organic on here too. Let me see here. Guys, stop. Please don't.
Benny, get up there. Cause a scene.
Don't do this to me. Don't do this to me.
You're the responsible dog.
You're the responsible dog. You're the good dog. You just yawned.
Because Benny's the bad dog.
Benny is the bad dog. That is true. Yoda was the bad dog until we got Benny. And then we realized, oh, no, he's actually wonderful and has never done anything wrong in his entire life.
He ate steak for a week once.
You did. Okay. I don't know why I'm having such a tough time coming up with just adjectives.
Adjectives are what we need, right?
My God.
Adjectives that describe things in a
I'm literally Googling adjectives, but it's all adjectives for like a person. It's like trustworthy, generous. It's like, no, not those kinds. Those are adjectives, but it's the wrong kind.
physical kinds. What sleek? Is sleek a good one?
I guess.
Aerodynamic. I'm doing a car commercial now.
Man, I found one and I was like, oh yeah, this works, but it's bright. It's literally just glowing. It's exactly.
Yeah, it's glowing. Maybe maybe these are like the suit is like aesthetic, like it is intimidating. It is like something that is like we throw glowing in with the other stuff. It is like an evocative, like intimidating or calming or something like that.
Okay.
Crab. It's a crab, that's calming to me.
The crab encompasses many personality traits.
So let's think of like. I'm trying to make sure the words. I want the words to be explorative, right? Friendly works for NPCs.
I think it works for places too. You can go in somewhere and it's clearly meant to elicit like feelings of comfort.
Yeah. Doesn't like comfort feel like a more broad term there than
Well, wouldn't we want to put the more broad terms in the smaller categories?
Yeah. To me, I keep clicking on the screen on Twitch to edit things.
Yeah, no, by all means, feel free to jump on here and just put stuff in if you want.
Absolutely. I typed W where it doesn't belong.
Why? Never mind. Never mind. I take back what I just said. If you touch my table, I'll fucking kill you. Ugh. Okay, well, hang on. I have like a million fucking tables here. Maybe there's something I can pull from what we've already done.
Yeah. Let's corpses.
Okay, yeah, NPC generator, like benevolent, neutral, malevolent might be good.
Ooh, benevolent, neutral. Neutral is less of a good one because it's not very evocative. But benevolent and malevolent, I think, are good qualities. Instead of friendly or intimidating, I think that they're better words.
Yeah. Let's see here.
Overgrown.
Okay. I don't know if that applies to a person.
Oh, really? Because a gigantic human being is overgrown, for sure.
I guess.
Big-ass tiger? Gigantic spider?
Don't say those words to me.
How about this? Fuck, that's pretty evocative.
Alright, yeah, I like that. Yeah, I want more words like this. Hang on.
Like crystalline.
Yeah.
Find me more words like crystalline, but completely different.
Words like crystalline.
How about this? This is gonna be something everyone loves.
Translucent?
That's pretty good. Look what I put in.
What'd you put in?
Pulsating.
Oh, yeah, pulsating works.
Oh, translucent's cool.
Yeah, translucent actually works. Let's see here. Lucid actually would be kind of interesting.
Lucid. I wonder, is that like...
It's like a where? Like a place that's